This is what I've learned about adolescence by Randy Bowden. In chapter 1 of our textbook, we learn about adolescence and the definition of adolescence. It's also about the people who have studied this field and given us the knowledge about this time of life. The first thing we learn is that adolescence refers to children between the ages of 10 to about 19 or 20. Second, there are a lot of people that have dedicated their life to studying adolescence, such as G. Stanley Hall, who pioneered the research in this field, Jeffrey Arnett, who has given us the 5 key features of emerging childhood, Sigmund Freud, who is a pioneering architect of psychoanalytic theory, Erik Erikson, who has given us the 8 stages of development, Jean Piaget, who has given us the 4 stages of cognitive development, Lev Vygotsky, who has given us the information processing theory, Albert Bandura, who has given us the social cognitive theory, and Yuri Bronfenbrenner, who has given us the ecological theory of development. This is good to know because by learning all about these developmental theories, we can know all about how adolescents are growing up and what stages they're going through and what is going through their minds as they go through it. We can apply this by helping children grow during this time. In chapter 2, we learn about puberty and health. The first thing we learn is about the different physical development processes that occur. Second, we learn about the health of adolescents regarding diet, exercise, and sleep needs. Third, we learn about the evolution of the adolescent regarding genetics and heredity. This is good to know because knowing about the physical and biological developments that occurs in the adolescence help us to realize that sometimes our actions just can't be helped. It also helps to define the different sides of the nature versus nurture debate. Chapter 3 is about the brain. First, we learn about the brain and the developmental processes that happen with it. Second, we learn about the cognitive, the informational processing, and the psychometric or intelligence aspect of development. Third, we learn about the social aspects that are involved in the development of the brain in the adolescent. These are all good things to know because when we try to teach children, we can know how they process things and absorb them, making us better teachers. Chapter 4. This is on the self, identity, emotion, and personality. First, we learn about the development of the adolescent self. This refers to self-esteem, self-concept, and self-regulation. Second, we learn about the development of identity. Third, we learn about the emotional development and what contributes to that development, such as hormones and experience. Fourth, we learn about the development of the adolescent personality. This is good to know because we can help them with figuring out who they are and what they want to be known as. Our personal identity is who we will be for the rest of our lives, and the sooner we figure that out, the better. Chapter 5 is on gender. First, we learn about what types of influences there are on gender, such as social, cognitive, and biological. Second, we learn about the stereotypes and the similarities and differences regarding them. Third, we learned about the classifications, such as traditional masculinity, femininity, and also androgyny, which is a high level of both. This is good to know, especially in today's world where people are trying to figure themselves out and trying to figure out just where they fit in. We can use this information to make sure that we don't offend anyone during this time of awkwardness. Chapter 6 is on sexuality. First, we learn about some basic ideas about the nature of the adolescent sexuality. Second, we learned about the sexual attitudes and behaviors of adolescents. Third, we learned about the problems that can occur with adolescent sex, such as pregnancy and STIs. Fourth, we learned about the education that adolescents are getting and where. This information is good to know because we need to educate our children better, not just about sex, but about the different problems that can occur. We can use this information in our classrooms when we hear other students giving out bad information. We can give the right and proper education so there are no more incorrect ideas. Chapter 7 is on moral development, values, and religion. First, we learn what moral development is and the different domains of it, such as thought, behavior, feeling, personality, and social aspects. Second, we learned about the different contexts of of moral development, such as the parents in school. Third, we learned about the values of religion and spirituality. This is good to know because religion has a lot to do with how we act towards each other and the personal values that we hold. We can use this to instill in our students good moral ways of behaving towards other people and how they treat other people. Chapter 8 is about families. First, we learn about the nature of the family process in adolescence. Second, we learn about the relationship between adolescents and their parents. Third, we learn about siblings and their role within the family. Fourth, we learn about how the family is changing with the addition of step, half, foster kids, and parents, and that kind of thing. This information is good to know because families aren't like what they used to be 50 years ago. A lot of kids today are from broken homes that have made them skeptical of parental figures. We can use this information to help these kids have a solid relationship with someone that cares for them. And since we have a year with these students, hopefully we can form some sort of bond and help them get through this period of their life. Chapter 9 is on peers, romantic relationships, and lifestyles. First, we learn about how adolescents explore their peer relationship and friendships. Second, we learned about the different adolescent groups. Third, we learned about the role of genders within that group. Fourth, we learned about the functions of dating. And finally, we learned about how this translates into what kinds of adults that there are, such as single, divorced, married, and so on. This is good for us to know because we can improve our 1-year-long relationship with our students. I'm sure that some of them will have problems with boyfriends or girlfriends and will need someone there to help them. Chapter 10 is on schools. First, we learn that there are different approaches to educating students. Second, we learned about the different transitions in education, such as the transitions of going from elementary school to junior high, the transition from high school to college, and from college to the work field. Third, we learned about how the social aspect of school influences adolescent development. Fourth, we learned about how some students can be exceptional while other students can be less than normal and need additional assistance, such as those with learning disabilities. This information is crucial to helping teachers identify the differences between students and to getting the help that each student needs. Chapter 11 is on achievements, work, and career. First, we learn about how achievements are important to adolescents and what they mean within social contexts. Second, we learn the work habits of students in college. Third, we learned about the career development aspects regarding cognitive, identity, and social contexts. This information is good to know because with this information in mind, we can help shape the minds of our students so that they are ready for the real world. Chapter 12 is on culture. First, we learn about the role of culture in the development of the adolescent. Second, we learn about how the social status and poverty are related to adolescent development. Third, we learn about how technology has influenced the adolescent into adulthood. This is good to know because as we evolve our technology, we need to know how to use it effectively to enhance our lives and not ruin it. Chapter 13 is on problems in adolescence and emerging adulthood. First, we learned about the nature of problems that occur during this time. Second, we learned about some of the problems that arise during this time, such as drugs, juvenile delinquency, depression, suicide, and eating disorders. Third, we learned about how to intervene and/or prevent these problems. This is really good information to help us see potential problems before they actually become problems. For example, I've always told my kids the best way to stop an addiction is to never start it in the first place. Thank you.